So now we've got Jay Williams coming out and speaking on Anthony Edwards, who, with 8 minutes left in Game 6 versus the San Antonio Spurs, walked over to the opposing bench and started shaking hands, doing all the usual post-game formalities. They were down, real big in that moment. So I already know people are split on this one. They're saying, look, okay, man, Ant came out there, gave everything he had, put his body on the line. So if you've got a star like that, you really can't question his leadership because, yeah, he may have lacked that usual explosive hiss and quickness at times, but he still went out there and competed. But then you've got others saying, you've got to fight to the final buzzer. So if that means the coach pulls the starters because nothing is working, you still stay locked in and cheer on the next group until that final horn, because that's the culture you want to build. Everybody plays until the final horn, and it's never over until it's over, especially when there was still a good chunk of the quarter left. They still had 8 minutes when he went down there and did all that. So let's check out what Jay Will had to say about Dirk Nowitzki and Blake Griffin.
What's good, bruh? Hooping and hollering, bruh. Y'all subscribe to Hooping and Hollering and quit bullshitting, man. Down here on the golf course, about to fly to New York, play some golf in the Hamptons, and I put on the Sports Center. Saw Ant Edwards going down and shaking the hands with the Spurs during the game. Look, man, I'm a big Ant Edwards fan and all, but yeah, maybe I'm just from the old school, but I don't really get down like that. Maybe the games just passed me by, but yeah, I wish Ant would have just stayed on down there with the T-Wolves and took it in like he was supposed to. But he didn't. That's what he felt like he was supposed to do, and that's what he did. But yeah, I don't know if I'm rolling.
I've watched the NBA and been a part of it for a long, long time. I've never seen this. A guy walking into the huddle with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and dapping up the entire team. Too much for me. Obviously, you can do that after the game and show plenty of respect. That was a little strange for me.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. I've never seen that before. I mean, I do like what he said, that he wants to give him respect, but I think you wait and you have to take your licks at the end of the game.
As great as Ant is as a basketball player, there's still some growth for him as well. Because as a leader, I would not have walked down there and shook their hand. I would not have walked down there and shook their hand with 8 minutes left in the game. As a leader of my troops and my guys, I would not show that weakness. The game is not over. I got 8 minutes left. I still got smoke coming out of my ears, so I'm so damn mad that we losing. Let me calm down for those 8 minutes since I'm not in, and then after those 8 minutes, I'll go down there and I'll congratulate them and their coaching staff. But in the middle of the game, when I got guys that have sat the bench and cheered me on, no, I'm gonna sit there and cheer those guys on. I'm gonna put that energy back into those guys, and then when the game's over, I'll go over there and shake their hands. So,
okay, for me, kudos to Ant for going out there and playing, right? Going out there and competing, playing in the previous series, even coming back early against Denver and all of that. Shout out to him for that. But he has to be careful about doing things like this, though, especially with an organization that, barring major injury, is going to be in your way for the next few years. Between them and the OKC Thunder, you're looking at two franchises that are basically standing in your path as second-round hurdles. There's really no way around having to get past one of those teams if you want to move forward in the foreseeable future. So you don't want to go down there shaking hands with 8 minutes left against a team like that, full of competitors who are looking for any kind of mental edge over you. And I know Ant is a strong player, right? We're not questioning that at all, but you just have to be mindful of how that's perceived from your sideline and how it looks in that moment. Now, I expect Julius Randle, even Rudy Gobert, there's going to be some serious changes there. Just not sure exactly what direction they're going, but they're going to have to reconstruct this roster with pieces that actually fit around the core. I think Dante DiVincenzo's ability to stretch the floor on the perimeter, that was really missed. They were dealing with injuries too, Ant-Man wasn't 100% either, and Dante DiVincenzo as well. You take those two out of the lineup, even though Ant did come back, he looked like he was maybe at about 65–70% of his usual explosiveness when I was watching him. But without DiVincenzo spacing the floor and going on those hot streaks he can get into, it definitely takes that team down a level. Jaden McDaniels has been growing into himself this year, but he really struggled in that series. Naz Reid, though, did his thing in that series, so they've got some pieces there that you'd want to keep around. Does Naz Reid become a starter now? Do you go in that direction and kind of move on from the Julius Randle era? Because at this point, it feels like that chapter is closed. Ayo Dosunmu also played some solid basketball. And part of this is about adding new talent, but part of it is also about building continuity and chemistry. Look at the Spurs. They've had to grow into their identity over time. So when I look at guys like Terrence Shannon and Ayo Dosunmu, I'm thinking maybe they just need more time to develop. Ayo came over in that trade from Chicago, and Terrence Shannon was just starting to really find his rhythm. He was one of the few still playing hard even when they were down big, pushing in transition, attacking the rim, trying to make something happen. So some of these pieces might need to be moved, but others just need patience and development. I think it's an athletic young group overall, and they were also the team that cracked that Denver Nuggets code back when Denver was fully healthy. But yeah, I wasn't really sold on that Ant move of shaking hands with 8 minutes left in that moment. You know, I just think you've got to stand there and take that beating, take it all the way to the final horn, and then go down there and shake hands at the end of the series before walking off and heading to the back. It has to bother you more in the moment, I think, is what UD is saying. And honestly, I tend to agree with him on that. It's got to hit you in a way where it's almost uncomfortable to even stand there. Like you need to be over there steaming, fuming, you know? But then again, some people might say maybe Ant-Man was already in that mindset. Maybe he was upset. Maybe he was frustrated. And maybe that was his way of sending a message to the organization like, I need a different team. That's one theory floating around, and I'm like, maybe there's something to that. Because maybe in a way, he was basically saying, I can't win with the guys I've got. Julius Randle ain't a true second option like that. And sometimes you can say a lot without actually saying anything. So he might not even be bothered by the criticism, because in his mind, he knows he doesn't have the full team needed to get over that hump and win it all. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, peace.